Hey everybody, it's your boy Eduardo Jackson, CEO, founder, creator of Cinema Draft, and can I get this off my screen? Okay, there we go. Eduardo Jackson, CEO, founder, creator of the Cinema Draft game and blacksinbitcoin.com, where everyone is welcome, but I stay black, loving Bitcoin. A little sad, y'all. I was knee-deep into an in-depth review of P3D and the FOMO3D short inaugural weekend when my computer crashed. So this is going to be pretty short because it's National Wing Day. Got to get my wing on. I know that sounds really black, but if anyone who knows me knows I love me some chicken wings. Anyways, all generalizations aside, it was an interesting weekend. I'm going to keep this short. So basically, FOMO3D short came out on Friday. As you see with FOMO long, it's chugging along very slowly. It's essentially an unwinnable game. It's at 21,691 ETH, which is $10 million. So the winner of this will split or get 48% of the pot. 2% goes to the dev team, and the rest is split up among the different teams you choose. And by their rules, it's paid out in dividends to the respective teams. In the actual contract, it's seen over $44 million flow through the contract, with almost 35 million paid out in dividends, with the 21,000 remaining, 10 million or so waiting to be won. And just as a quick refresher, one key purchase, which now is worth about 250, 260, bumps up the timer another 30 seconds. So, and we're at 23 hours, so it's going to be a while. Now, this timer has been slowing gradually, only because people realize that buying key is worthless at this point. You're not getting dividends. There's not enough volume flowing through these days. Take a look at maybe DAP radar, which lets you know how these different games are going. All DApps. P3D's up there. FOMO3D has been doing some things. We'll actually come back to this page in a minute. But basically, the long game is that it's not going to end anytime soon. People think it's going to go on forever. I thought the same. Actually, someone who has mathed it out in the P3D Discord, which still is entertaining as hell, I might add. Matter of fact. Well, you know what? We'll just get to that another time. But basically, someone from the P3D Discord informed me that what's called the singularity, when one ETH equals one P3D, which means that every single Ethereum that's in circulating supply, which right now is around 100 million, would be sucked into the contract. That would be the singularity. And math-wise, that's not due to happen for another 19 years. So this game does end. Someone will exit scam with half this pot, but it's probably going to take a decade or so. So don't hold your breath. All right. Now this is FOMO quick. Let me refresh this. Now, they were having some issues on launch day. The actual rules, no one really knew exactly what the rules were until the hour before. They postponed the launch by an hour. It's supposed to be 5 p.m. Pacific. They bumped it back to 6. And then over that hour, they started releasing the rules. So no one really had a good chance to study the rules in depth or figure out the true game theory. So what happened is that we saw a huge spike. And actually, let's go to the DAP radar charts. Go to FOMO3D. This is Friday. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. This is FOMO3D? It is FOMO3D. All right, so this was Friday, where everything spiked, volume, users, because last weekend when we first got into FOMO3D long, this was last Friday, It went really bonkers. And if you got in then, you made some decent money, but then it tailed off sharply when people figured out this game's going to go on for years. And the price per key didn't scale up very well. It's very high. It's very incremental price growth as far as the key to play goes. So you're not seeing any dividends at this point. So everyone's pretty much abandoned the contract except for, you know, the bots and the people who just, you know, buy a key hoping that people will forget about the game. They won't. All right, so now this is Friday, and as you can see, it just exploded in that day. And this is all FOMO Quick's doing right here. 4,400 users, over 17,000 in ETH volume. And as a matter of fact, in the balance of the contract is the daily chart. This is us living our best life. We actually got up to as high as 85,000 Ethereum, 85,782, which back then at 475 per ETH was over $40 million in the contract. Today it'd be worth just a touch under 40 million. Now, the reason why you see this big sell-off is that in that first round, which is really hyped up, and the stats were pretty impressive. Something like I think the final pot of FOMO Quick, and it lasted 3.5 hours, just about 3 hours and 15 minutes. Now, the thing about FOMO Quick is that these keys scale up quickly. Like compared to FOMO Long, which it's only 0.005 to buy a key. Right now, in round number 8, so there's been 7 previously completed rounds of FOMO Quick in the last day and a half, 2 days. It's designed so that as the ETH flows in for people to buy keys, the keys scale up aggressively. So within that first minute, it went from 0.1 to buy a key to one ETH per key, 5. I mean, it just scaled up so quickly that shortly, only people who could afford to play were whales. And so we just watched the whales go back and forth for a couple hours after that. There was a glitch in which my vault, my on lockdown, which is how much ETH from the pot you would win, I was showing at one point I had 84 ETH on lockdown for my 0.14 investment. I was high on life. But there was a glitch in the dashboard they did not fix until 2/3 the way through, where the keys I had in FOMO Long were showing up as value in FOMO Short. So once they fixed that glitch, my on lockdown went from 84 ETH or 40 grand, me loving life, down to 0.051 ETH. And it was like $5. I was pissed. So lesson learned, I only lost about $60. The only people who really made any money were during the ICO phase. Now what happens with each round is there's a 60-second ICO phase where every key is worth the same and it's fairly cheap. And if you get in during the ICO phase, you're pretty much guaranteed to profit. Anything after the ICO phase, you're pretty much screwed. And so once people figured that out, you can see the volume on DApp Radar just died. So, and I think they're on Greenwich Mean Time, so they're looking at like, I don't know, let's look at the 7-day chart. Yeah. So you're pretty much looking at, this is our Friday, and then this is yesterday / today, and it's just tailed off. I mean, it's dropped off from 17,000 in volume down to 470 in volume. And what happens is that when each round ends, 10% of the pot seeds the next round. So we've seen, so the winning pot the first time was about 7,500, and the take home, the take home of the winner was 1,639 ETH, or at that point, $778,000 of Ethereum in 3.5 hours. Not too shabby. But like I said, at that point, people were spending several ETH just to buy a key. It's nuts. And each time you buy a key, the timer resets to the 5-minute timer, 5-minute countdown timer in FOMO Quick. So we've seen, from what I've observed the last couple of days, the pots have gotten smaller, usually between 100 to 250, 300 are what these pots are going for. People have figured out that if you don't get into ICO, you're pretty much screwed. So people mostly have been just holding on to their P3D. After you had the initial sell-off, because people were disillusioned, and by the way the communication was rolled out by the team. And at one point, the team did apologize for not communicating more clearly. What can you expect? It's a bunch of devs. They just sit in front of computers all day. You should have hired your boy, professional marketer, communicator, social media manager, etc., etc. Basically, people just dumped it. The contract of P3D lost about 35, 40% of the contract. We seem to have hit a bottom of about 58 to 60,000 ETH. You made dividends along the way, but you still lost contract value of your P3D tokens. But even if you take of the last 22 full days of growth, the contract is still averaged 3.29% in token growth per day. Right now you can buy a token for 0.029 ETH, 0.0291 Ethereum each, which translates to about $13 per token, per P3D token. Because remember, dividends from FOMO long and FOMO short go into the P3D contract. So even if you're not playing FOMO3D, you're getting some dividends, all right? So at its zenith, which was about $20, $21 per P3D, now it's only about $13.50 per P3D. And over the life of when FOMO started on the 8th, July 8th, so the last 22 days, so pretty decent sample size for a fast-moving contract of its sort, you've averaged 3.29% daily ROI. You don't even get that from your bank for a year. So I'm sticking with it. I've been reinvesting daily, loving P3D. Right now, the contract is at 58,104 Ethereum. If it's losing, it's losing very slowly. I feel like we're in a support zone, a support range, because too many people have figured it out. They're like, this is basically a dividend machine. What's really kind of cool is that, according to the devs, they have created a SDK, a software development kit. So anyone can create games for the P3D ecosystem. They won't be able to vet or launch too many because they're working on their own stuff, and they promise more games. And honestly, to restore trust back into the system, and look, and I'm a big boy. I lost $60. Boo-hoo. Some people lost a lot more than that. And the token price reflected it, and the token balance the token balance reflected it. But as more people crowdsource and create their own P3D games, and honestly, I mean, people come up with some really good ideas in the Discord over the weekend. P3D Casino, P3D Poker, where the rake gets distributed to all of the different, P3D holders. Although there is an issue about doing random number generation on the blockchain. It's essentially impossible. You either need to do it private, which requires trust, or if you do it public, it can get hacked or messed with, apparently. So I don't know if we'll actually see that, but basically people will come up with really cool ideas of more income and dividend generating games to help feed the P3D ecosystem. I suspect that within the next few weeks, Team Just will come out with a new game of some sort that will all pump our bags, because that's why we're here, of course, to pump our bags. And we'll see this thing take off. And maybe it won't be another ridiculous I mean, this chart's ridiculous. It went from essentially 4,400 in the contract on July 7th to a high of 85,000 to now we're at, which is 58,104. So it's, I mean, I guess let's do the math. 58,104 minus 43, what's that? 43.96 divided by 58,104. So you're looking at a 92% increase. That can't be right. Hold on a sec. Oh, okay, I see. All right, so yeah, so 53. Okay, you're basically looking at, is it a 90? God, I'm bad at math. Anyways, you're looking at something like a 90%, a 100% value increase in value of the contract over 3 weeks. I mean, that's insane. And so, of course, it wasn't sustainable. I actually like that we have a couple of down days. It'll make the averages look a little more realistic. And if we can just keep reinvesting daily, make your 3% a day, compound that shit, sky's the limit, man. So, I don't know. Stay tuned. It's a fairly short pod. Need to get my chicken wings. We have the Lost pod out there. So, sorry about my level of enthusiasm. But I will be hodling P3D. I will continue to get this cheap P3D in anticipation of future games from the community and Team Just, the name of the developers. And this will not turn into a P3D podcast. I will continue to talk about different stuff. I will have other guests on. I will tease them as they become more confirmed. But that's it for now. If you love Bitcoin like I do, if you love crypto like I do, support your boy. Like and subscribe the podcast. Go to our store, get some Blacks and Bitcoin swag. Tip in the links below. Feel free to ask questions. We're here. Visit us on Twitter at Blacks and Bitcoin, on Facebook, Blacks and Bitcoin. If you're interested in getting into the P3D or FOMO3D game, click the links below or go to our page and click the images, FOMO3D and P3D. Thanks everybody for your support. And if you love Bitcoin like I do, hodl if you hear me. Peace.